Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at and play the FE4202 and talk about how I absolutely love this tank and how I'm going to absolutely love it even more in the next couple of weeks. So of course this is all about the Hesh. Yes, Hesh is Besh. Of course you've got the Centurion 7-1 as well in tier 9, which is pretty much better, only because of the speed, and it's got armor, it's got turret armor, and of course you play against tier 8 with the same gun, same penetration. You come up against tier 8, so there's not that often that you actually have to use APCR. So of course it does have APCR, HE and HE. You've got the expensive Hesh, which is very, very good, and you've got the cheap Hesh, which in my opinion, I've got credits, I don't really need to use that at all. But you can see how many HE I use. I use more HE in this than you do the APCR. Of course you do have the other gun as well if you wanted to run it with the APCR, heat and HE, but for me it's all about the Hesh. It's all about the Hesh, baby. So the DPM on this thing standard is around, let's have a look, what is the DPM on this thing? So the damage per minute is 3000 DPM. 3000 DPM on this tank, but you don't use that is with APCR. You don't use APCR in this tank. You really don't. It's all about the Hesh, and if you're using Hesh you have over 4000 DPM, and we're going to have a look at a couple of games where I mean it's not crazy damage, but it just goes to show how much of the Hesh, why the Hesh is just so important in this tank. So as I said in the intro there, Hesh is so important in this tank because it pumps up your DPM and it gives it something unique about this tank and about the British tanks in general. Of course, the Centurion, the Death Star, you got the Tortoise, the Chieftain, these all have Hesh, but the Death Star, this and the Centurion all have that massive pen, the really high pen Hesh, so you can penetrate pretty much anything. You can penetrate any tank that comes in front of you. You will be able to penetrate somewhere, whether it be a Chieftain, whether it be an E100, an IS-4, anything that comes your way, you will be able to penetrate with Hesh. Obviously some will be easier than others. Some tanks like the IS-4, you'll be able to shoot the bottom plate, the sides and the rear, but you need to get into those positions where you can make that Hesh count, because of course if a tank's going to face you, it's going to be harder to be able to get that Hesh shot, and you're going to be aiming for longer. So the idea is get around tanks. You need to get around tanks, and which is why I've always loved the FE4202 over the Centurion 7-1, because the Centurion just didn't have that speed, but ever since a couple of updates ago, Wargaming gave this tank and the Centurion an extra 10 kilometers per hour speed, so the Centurion really does go now. It really is quick. Now you're going to see these games, like I'm never shooting APCR in this tank. Like, it's very, very rare. I mean, I've got credits, so I don't mind wasting credits, but sometimes it doesn't pay off. Like that first shot, we got like 60 damage, so sometimes it doesn't pay off, but if it does, you could do upwards of over 500 damage per shot. 500 damage per shot you're able to do if you're able to get that Hesh shot. You can see that shot there, it was a high roll, 450 damage in a medium tank every 5 or every 6 seconds. We've got the 60 TP here down here, very heavily armored, no problem whatsoever. I mean, yeah, we only done 140 damage there, we didn't really aim, but this is what you want to do. I mean, I haven't shot a single APCR shot there. 518 damage done into him, and now we can move on to the Sheridan. We do miss that shot, however. We don't know where the other team are. They have caught C, so I'm guessing they are around that side of the map. Of course, you do have to be careful of tanks like the Sheridan. They do have spaced armor, so if you do shoot HE into the side of him, you're not going to do too much damage. So make sure that you are aware of the tanks with spaced armor. So yeah, with this tank, I'm always looking at either trying to get above tanks, around tanks, behind tanks. I don't really want to look directly at the tanks, because you are going to waste a bit of time in trying to aim at the weak points, and if you can't penetrate it, you've only got your APCR to fall back on, and that is your standard round. You don't have no heat, and you have to really bear that in mind. If you get an IS-4 come at you in an angle, you're not going to be able to penetrate him full stop. The only thing that you're going to be able to do is a bit of splash damage to him, and of course in a medium tank, you're not going to do too much damage, if any damage at all, to be fair. So I'm always trying to yeah, nice bounce there. So I'm always trying to use the HE in this thing. You can see this game I haven't shot a single APCR shell. It has all been HESH. Every single shell, it's been HESH, and we finished with 4k damage. I mean, 4k damage and not a single standard round fired. So yeah, and this is why I love it. This is why I just absolutely love this tank. It's only because of the HESH. If it didn't have the HESH, then I really probably wouldn't like it too much. It's just the HESH, and of course the next update, it's going to get even better, because it's going to get some armor. Yes, Wargaming are giving this tank some armor, some turret armor, and I think some upper plate armor, so you'll be able to actually bounce shots in this thing. So this game here, you can see I really want to cross the river, because if I'm able to cross the river and the enemy tanks are this side of the map, I'm going to have side shots into them, and that's what you've got to do. Kind of a bit like the Leopard 1. I mean, the Leopard 1 has no armor, which makes you have to think about what you're going to do and where you're going to go. This tank is kind of very, very similar, except it does have the HESH, but you need to think about where you're going to go, where is the best position for you to sit to be able to get that HE shot out. Yes, you can shoot APCR if you really need to, but do you really want to? I mean, 477 damage done there to the T92. We've got the Death Star here, and again, almost 500 damage done to him, and we're already now on 1100 damage. And this is another game where I don't shoot, I don't think I do, I don't think I shoot a single HE shot. I mean, that's a T62 there. God knows what he's doing in that position, but just look how easy we can penetrate that front plate. We can just go for it like butter. Absolutely like butter, and that is with the HESH. Of course, I really want to clear this T92. He's stopping me doing a lot of things, and he's yeah, I'm getting wrecked, and I don't want to get wrecked. I've still got a lot of hit points. The whole team are around this side of the map, and there is a lot of damage up for grabs. So I really want to clear that T62. The Waffles there, I'm going to ignore him. He's not looking, he's not dangerous, and you can see I'm trying to bait a shot here from the T62, and I do just that. And again, 480 damage in a medium tank. It's crazy, and if you're in the right spot, in the right position, you really can just absolutely wreck the team. So just 3 tanks here. You can see the IS-7 super heavily armored, no problem whatsoever. The rear of that IS-7, again, like butter, but as soon as he turns, if you do hit the spaced armor part or the tracks, only 65 damage. So it is a high risk, high reward tank, definitely, for sure, but yeah, it's worth it. It is worth it. It pays off in the end, and you can see this E100, no problem whatsoever, penning his side, penning his rear, and even when he turns, we can pen the side of his turret very easily. And we're doing almost 450 alpha per shot. Every 6 seconds we are doing 400 alpha. That's a heavy tank. That is a heavy tank with a medium reload, and this is why I absolutely love this tank. 5,300 damage, and every single shell of mine was a HE shell. Don't even need APCR. It is all about the HE, and of course, as I've said, it is about to get even better this next update. Let me know your thoughts on the FV4 Toro 2. Do you like it? Do you love the HESH? HESH is Besh. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.